Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping back into the action here with our two teams, University of Maryland College Park and Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. And currently a 2-0 lead here for UMCP in the series, but we will see if their opponents can make a little comeback. And we'll start off by introducing the team from UMCP in the upper left-hand corner of the map here. It is going to be Kim G as well as RKB.
That's right, and spawning in the bottom right position is going to be the team trying to make a comeback here, keeping their team in this qualifier. It's going to be Joe Bama, the Protoss, and his teammate Sock Dealer, the Zerg. So we have a PZ versus a TZ this time around. Last time we saw a mirror matchup, but a nice thing about this is once again, Doom, we're in cross spawns on this map, and that just makes things so much better.
Yeah, excitement certainly possible here. And considering the fact that this spawning pool has been placed so early, looked like it was a 10 pool, I do believe we're going to have a little bit of aggression in the early stages.
Yeah, Sock Dealer. I mean, this is one of those things where it pans out so well if your opponent's right next to you. If you're cross, it's a little bit harder to make it work. But I mean, at this point, Sock Dealer is committed to the idea, so he has to kind of go through with it. Either way, the ramp is pretty wide, so the Lings should be able to get in there and at least poke around. I mean, just now the spawning pool for the UMCPs are going down, so that is quite a bit earlier. And I love this sort of teammate love. Look at RKB's, helping out his buddy Kim G here with a little bit of a simulator action.
Would you look at that? I didn't actually know you could do that.
Isn't that so cute?
I had no idea.
It's just friends helping friends, man.
Well, he better be ready to help him in other ways too, because there is a cannon going down.
Oh, Joe Bama. Joe Bama actually cannoned in the round of 8 in his 1v1 matchup. Or actually, no, excuse me. It was in 2v2, I believe. And he did this. He also cannoned, and to do it on this map as well is pretty ballsy. And he's going to pile on the barracks here. Look at this. They have no idea. Look at their vision. They don't see it at all. Just now catching everything. Joe Bama and one probe. Look at how annoying he is. Pylons over the barracks that couldn't even land for a second. This is unbelievable. And now here come the Lings, and they're going to be protected by these cannons here. And
I keep that probe alive here, Chris. Okay, so with that probe going down, he won't be able to make cannons in the main base though. But the Lings are going to challenge.
Another probe though.
Oh, look at that.
Another probe is here. This is unbelievable right now, and the pylon continuing to block any possibility of getting that add-on here. This is just unbelievable aggression coming out from the RPI team. So incredibly annoying. But I mean, if this doesn't pan out, this is such a big commitment. Now the bunker is up, and those Marines are going to be able to take out all these forward pylons and cannons. So it's just going to be the ones in the back that will stay alive for now.
Yeah, actually, really nice move here from Kim G to respond. And with that Queen support here, all the cannons in the main base are going to fall. One of the things Terran players can do is just lift up and move. But, in this situation, I do feel like they're going to be fine. I mean, he's also got a Widow Mine coming as well. So in the event that the Lings did run by, if any type of units following sub ran by, he would be able to crush them. Yeah,
so I mean, Joe Bama just has a Forge right now. Getting double assimilator behind this, but he obviously had to commit quite a lot to this. Now the spine crawler of RKB loses that queen a little bit sloppy there, but overall still a good hold from the UMCP team. It's going to put them in a pretty good spot here. RPI is 2v2. This aggression won them the game very quickly in the round of 8, but it turns out in the round of 4, with everything on the line, it's not going to at least lock him up the win right away here. Now we do see Kim G getting a tech lab on his factory. Just playing a little bit more defensive and actually getting a Hellion here. Probably going to help him just sort of scout around the map, get a little bit more control here. But man, look at all these Lings sitting outside the base. Sock Dealer.
Yeah, and they're really not going to be able to do all that much. I mean, if they were to get pinned inside of the main base here, there is a nice position where the Queen could sit between the spawning pool and the hatchery and defend all. With the Roaches out, with the Hellion out, with the potential for Widow Mines to be, in play here, those Lings just really are going to have to just sit in place and wait.
Yeah, and I mean, Kim G, I feel like this was part of his plan before. But just with that Reaper going outside, seeing all those extra Lings from Sock Dealer, just sort of reaffirmed his decision to get that Blue Flame and continue to make Hellions. I mean, once he gets a nice solid count of Blue Flame Hellions out on the field, it is going to be pretty rough business here. Joe Bama getting a cannon in his main mineral line, perhaps worried about what I have to assume is a Widow Mine drop that he thinks could be incoming. But it is not anywhere near. And look at Sock Dealer's main base saturation. That's just...
Yeah, and it's going to be one base Mutas, too. One base Mutas.
It's gonna be an overwhelming 5 Mutalisks to sort of hit him. No, it should be
minerals,
about
200 gas at once. So
yeah,
about a minute out, maybe he'll be able to have 4.
No, it looks like honestly he's sitting at 600. I mean, it depends on how much Joe Bama is able to donate on the mineral end here. I mean, if you notice, Joe Bama has still not even made a gateway, so he's donating all of this stuff to his teammate at this point. So he's probably going to donate one last swell of minerals to him as that Spire finishes, and they're going to be able to get out 10 Mutalisks out on the field. So pretty interesting 2v2 tactics here. And I never played 2v2, so this is all stuff that I would not even think of doing. So to see this coming out is pretty interesting. And you know, 10 Mutalisks could do pretty well here, but there are some Marines and a couple Widow Mines out on the field, so it's tough to say if this will work out or not.
Sock Dealer's just trying to buy time by doing these small little ling aggressions in the middle of the map, running by as many links as possible, trying to scout out as much as he can see. And you know, this reminds me of old like Warcraft 3 2v2 when you used to see people just dump mineral resources into each other. Oh, could have had a good opportunity to pick off that Widow Mine, did Sock Dealer, but not going to be the case.
Oh, and a Widow Mine's going to come up here, and he's going to see these cannons finishing up. The cannon is going to do a great job. They finished just in time, and now Mutalisks are out. Not an overwhelming amount, and that Widow Mine can do a lot of damage. Those Marines alone can take out the amount of Mutalisks out on the field, but they're doing a good job zoning out these Hellions and Roaches right now. Medevac joining the fray, healing up some of those Marines, and those Mutalisks are starting to get taken out, and a Widow Mine does grab one of them as well. But you know what? Actually, Sock Dealer's 5 Mutalisks are actually going to help immensely with this pressure.
Absolutely, and back at home for the Terran player here, the Ling run by killed off a ton. I mean, a ton of SCVs. He's down to 15 in total, and basically, I feel like our blue team here is evened out. They've bought themselves enough time to stay alive.
I honestly can't believe what I'm seeing right now, but this is some pretty incredible teamwork right now. More Mutalisks are trickling out here for Sock Dealer. Not very much at all. He's going to be able to clean up a couple of the Overlords around the map. And I mean, if you'll notice, no natural expansion even taken right now for UMCP. Yes, they have the command center finishing up, but RKB has no additional hatchery at this point. And we actually see Joe Bama grabbing that Nexus, and it's going to be pretty safe with a nice amount of Mutalisks out in the field.
I would like to see the Cybernetics Core eventually, but it is coming. I do feel it is coming one of these days.
We're past the 11-minute mark, so typically you would see a Cybernetics Core by now.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, typically you would see a Protoss attacking unit out as well. But it's, you know, sometimes you gotta play not standard, man, to seal up the win.
Two for sure. And you know, it's kind of funny to see how the tides have swung here. Our red team from UMCP was in, you know, complete map control just a few minutes ago, but now it seems to be RPI who has taken complete map control. They're the ones who are I'm not going to say dominating, but I'm going to say that they're in a much better position here, transitioning into their later stages of the game by getting this expansion. Because as we see, well, actually the Terran player has dropped a fully completed command center down at what would be their natural base, but his SCV count simply isn't that high, only on 21 at this point in the game, and the incomes are certainly reflective of that, as most players are pretty much even at this point.
Yep, and just to, you know, get a quick count of the units here, 11 Mutalisks with 2 more in production. And if we want to look at anti-air, we have a Thor actually out for the UMCP team, and 8 Marines. That is pretty much the extent of their anti-air, and we do see 3 Hydralisks. I mean, the unit production in this game is just so minimal because they've just been on such low econ the whole time, so it's just funny to see such low amount of units coming out at a time here. And, you know, 3 Hydralisks, you know, I made joke about that, but mix that in with the Marines and that 1 Thor, and suddenly you have just enough to hold off a full-out frontal attack from Muto Ling here.
Sure, we got to consider the fact that medevacs are going to heal all of those Zerg biological units, so small little advantage to some degree, but the Mutas are actually going to try to poke in the natural, going to be deflected by that Thor initially, and you know, as long as he keeps obtaining this map control with the Mutalist, scouting out to see what his opponents are doing, he should be in a good position here. If he spots this hatchery, Sock Dealer, turn right, Sock Dealer, and you will find gold, my friend. And he is going to spot it out.
Oh, he's actually going to commit to taking out these Hydralisks. A pretty ballsy play here, and you know, I actually like that play. You can be a little bit more ballsy with your Mutalisks and actually micro them, and of course that regen is just so good, forcing a cancel on that hatchery of RKB. So great job by Soft Dealer utilizing these Mutalisks to their full potential, I feel like. And behind this Joe Bama, looks like some aggression was going on, some Hellion aggression actually, but it is going to get shut down eventually, but not before probes will go down. I can't actually look at the workers lost tab, but let's look at Joe Bama's probe count, 36. So that's actually a pretty healthy amount, not as high as it could be, but he is getting this natural base up, and he's going to be able to start double Colossus production. Those are going to be the first attacking units that he makes all game. It's
pretty sick how all of this is timing out here for the Protoss player in this game, and you know, it's pretty cool. I like it. The choices here to go for the Muta Colossus combination is actually insane when you think of, you know, your opponents are Terran and Zerg players. Sure, the Colossus are going to rule everything on the ground, you know, in terms of the Roach Hydra composition, but you know, the Terran player with just these Marines is going to be able to do nothing against the Colossus, and once all the Marines are eliminated, then that's when we'll see the Mutas come in and just dominate everything. And once again, the Zerg player's hatchery is going to spot in the upper right. No cancel going down though.
This is a little bit scary though. Okay, first two Colossus are out. No range though. Photon Overcharge actually going to be immensely helpful here. But that's a lot of units on the ground here. These Mutalisks are going to have to come back and help out here. Widowmine, Thor, Hydras, Marines, they're all going to come into play. Every single unit's going to be so crucial right now. There goes the Photon Overcharge, and it's going to be useful. Looks like the Marines are getting melted by those Colossi. Good micro so far. The Mutalisks doing so much damage, and this is such a phenomenal hold actually coming out from Joe Bama and Soft Dealer. I think they may have done it. One Colossus does go down, but all the Mutalisks are still alive here, and there's not too many Marines left. That Thor is going to be very helpful, but it can't get focus fire down. This is very close right now. The Lings actually come and surround the Thor. I don't know, man. This is actually so close. It looks like they're actually going to lose that Nexus.
I feel like the Mutas could have cleaned up at least the medevacs here, which would have prevented the healing from occurring, but you know, the Widowmines are getting down, which is really scary for a player who's got, you know, the Mutalisks moving over top of an army. You never know if you're going to be able to get that shot or get that huge shot going down here, and combo that with Thors, it's pretty horrifying situation.
Oh, this is so risky. He's just going to Doom Drop right in here with Mutalisks. I cannot believe he went for that decision. It looks like it may actually work out though. The Mutalisks are all dying here. The Colossi are going to come in and help clean up this ground army. That's exactly what they're going to do here. And flying right over the Mutalist, one Thor does go down. This is just back and forth insanity right now, but the supplies of RPI are looking dangerously low at this point. UMCP in a dominating position.
Yeah, you know, but I still like the composition here from the Protoss and Zerg players. It just is generally better. I mean, sure, the siege tanks are going to have some range on the Colossus, but Thermal Lance has just finished up. There's 3 Colossus on the field, which should be able to deflect this relatively easily. I mean, there are no Crufters in production here for our Zerg player on the Red Trunks. There's no Vikings. A single Viking now just being made, so...
Oh, Immortal's getting rallied into the tanks! Oh, he saves it, but then he goes back. What is he doing? He actually sacks that Immortal for that tank, and a ballsy play that was, and now the Mutalisks are coming up here. Widowmine does go off, gets some of the Mutalisks there. The Widowmine itself has 2 kills. I'm not sure if that's actually Mutas or Lings, and another Widowmine over here. Going to connect on that Colossi. Actually a good trade for Joe Bama, of course. Now getting an Immortal and an Observer, and like you said, the composition of the RPI team is definitely stronger, but they're forced back on this super low econ. Sock Dealer, though, does have this hatchery up, and that's a huge saving grace at this particular moment.
Absolutely. And, you know, RKB has got his hatchery established, but he simply doesn't have the drone count to really take advantage of it. Only 18 drones on the field for him in this situation, and I mean, okay, his opponent only has 19 drones as a Zerg player too, but looking at the Protoss player, he is starting to run out of minerals in his main base. The Terran player is pretty much out of minerals in the main base, and his naturals, you know, starting to get a little bit lower, now just transferring SCVs down there. The actual production capabilities of the Terran player is pretty much the best in this game, but, you know, I just feel once again like the Colossus are going to continuously dominate the bio, and if the Viking count doesn't get high enough, then it's really going to get ugly here for the Terran and Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that... the huge commitment, actually, from Stockdale. He's going to lose some Lings there and maybe a Mutalisk, it looks like. The composition is no doubt better for the RPI team, but the raw supply counts of the UMCP team is just higher. They're at about 200 combined, whereas Joe Obama and Sockdeal are looking at about 140-ish combined. So they're down about 60 supply right now. How much of that is in workers? Maybe about 20 or so in the discrepancy. 15 to 20, so there's just bigger army supplies going to UMCP, the superior composition going to RPI. So that means if RPI is able to hold on for just a little bit longer here and get out some more of these dominating units, they could be in a good spot. UMCP dropping in the main base here with a couple Widow Mines and Bio here. Nice drop coming out from Kimji here. And it looks like it will actually get cleaned up relatively easily here. The cannon being a huge help, but here comes UMCP pushing across the map, and this is the scary push.
Absolutely. It's a little horrifying, especially considering the fact that the Terran player's on 3 bases behind this. So, I mean, if this doesn't work out, then the Terran still has very good production, very good capabilities of reestablishing a large army in this game. And here we go with that stim. He is going to move forward here, but the Great Shield...
The Colossi, though, are just going to do so much damage, and great force fields, actually. All of this stuff is going to die very, very quickly. The Mutalisk, the armies were just split up completely. The Colossi are a little bit vulnerable, and an awesome time warp, actually. And, wow, this game is, maybe it hasn't turned around fully, but that was exactly what RPI needed to start to get back into this.
Colossus, man, they're pretty good against nothing but bio units that don't have a high range. I mean, a Thor is going to move forward here, but that's going to get shot down relatively easily. The siege tanks are actually under fire from the Mutalisk continuously, and now the bio is getting shot in the face with so many lasers.
Oh my god! Doom, what am I watching right now? What am I watching?
Of the Protoss army to be so cost efficient here. The Mutalisk are doing their best.
That medevac!
Oh, and they're going to charge forward here. They need to charge forward here. Looking at the incomes from our players here, the Terran player has the best income in the game at 1,000 minerals, going for 41 harvesters as well.
They're tied in supply. They're tied in supply. There was such a huge supply lead for UMCP, but now they are currently tied. And
supply line as well from Joe Obama here.
Has better composition right now. This base is definitely dead. It looks like
3 Colossus, 19 kills, 20 kills, and 21 kills. The Masters and the Executors.
I don't even know what I'm watching right now. My face is currently melting in my chair. I just have no clue what is going on. I mean, I knew the compositions were better, but it was also the fact that the armies got split up there. It was just... they weren't organized. They had tanks sieged way further back, and the bio of Kimchi was just so far separated from RKB's Roach Hydra force. So the Colossi were actually able to deal with the Roach Hydra army first, and then deal with the bio separately, and that's what allowed them to stay alive in this case and just do so much damage. And I don't know, man. This game is all of a sudden very, very close once again, and Joe Obama has that Nexus mining, and of course he was denied that mining for so long, so it's still very healthy. He's getting a great income from that.
Yeah, but looking at Kimji's mules, I mean, he's got 7, it looks like, 7 down
he's
here.
Getting a lot of minerals. I mean, he's getting more minerals than the other 3 people combined, and then double that. I mean, that's how much he's getting. Just an insane amount of mineral income.
But does it
for
matter,
Kimji.
though? I mean, looking at his composition, he's still stuck on bio. He hasn't had it in the Vikings. He's going to need to contend against these Colossus. And I mean, this is just the problem with TVP often, is that if you try to mass up bio against them and the Protoss player is immediately going into Colossus, well, then you need to make Vikings. You need to have some type of EMPs to try to reduce the shields.
I love these bunkers, though. The bunkers are going to be helpful in sort of delaying that push, at least from that ramp. Now we have some sentries joining in the mix, and of course, and another Colossus as well. 2 more Colossus in production for Joe Obama. I feel like I really like this decision, taking out that base and going back home. It's not like they have a crazy good economy, but their unit composition is so solid that if Joe Obama just keeps making Colossus, it's just going to be overwhelming ground damage at this point. We do see Vikings in the production tab for Kimchi finally. But I mean, is he going to be able to get enough in time? Possibly. He does have the resources to do so. But I mean, there's going to be an overwhelming amount of Colossus, and now a Dark Shrine coming up.
I like it.
for Obama.
I like it a lot. You know, one of the big problems here is that Kimji has been mining longer than all the other players, so as a result, his natural is basically mined out at this point. Not a lot of minerals left at these patches. In fact, none of them are over 300. And, I mean, he's going to try to reestablish this third base, but if our blue players here reestablish their naturals...
Oh, a big engagement! Oh god, those Colossus are going to melt all that bio so quickly, and then the Mutalisk can actually help to clean up the Vikings, and that's exactly what they do. They do help take out those Vikings. Now these Colossus pretty much are going to melt everything. Nothing's going to be able to close the gap at all. The Hydras aren't going to be able to do it either. The Roaches maybe, but the Mutalisk doing so well actually, just pushing back these Medivacs and Roaches as well. Oh my god, the Colossus are doing so much damage, and GG actually comes out. The RPI team pulls through.
Yeah, that was an amazing show of patience there from RPI, and they're gonna make a little comeback here, Chris. 2-1 now is our series.
Wow. I know I mentioned that last 2v2 I saw was possibly the greatest 2v2, but that was definitely the best, I would say, comeback, I would say.
Yeah, that was.
At the very least, the best comeback I've ever seen. The fact that Obama pooled all of his resources temporarily to his teammate to get those Mutalisks out was the first step, and then just fully committing to Colossus, microing them. He only lost one Colossus that entire game, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like Kimji, a little bit of oversight there, not getting that Viking production a little bit sooner, but I mean, maybe he was considering the fact that there was always 20 Mutalisks out on the field, so it would have been tough to keep them alive, but even still, that was just unreal.
Yeah, I mean, the power of the Mutalisk throughout that game was shown even from the early stages all the way to late game. A very, very good unit to have in the 2 versus 2 matchup, and it really just enables you to not only take map control, but really swing the tides of battle in your favor. So that's going to be our third game in the series. Our fourth match is coming up next. Hope you guys are excited. It's been a great night tonight on the CSL Collegiate Star League. We're glad to have you all here tuned in with us today. This is, of course, Doom Esports, Chris Messer. And I want to go ahead and take this time to thank our sponsors, Raid Call, NCIX, and MSI. Guys, if you haven't gone to our Facebook page yet, hop on over there, facebook.com/CStarLeague. You can enter our contest to win an MSI laptop. All you have to do is film a video 60 seconds long, submit it through Facebook, and you know the best video is going to win the prize, going to win the laptop. It's a sick laptop. It's a great opportunity for you to join in, to show your creativity in the video making, and show your artistry as well. And really, it's a free laptop. Come on, why wouldn't you?
I know, just take it already. Just take it, guys. Seriously, we're just throwing it at you. Just please, MSI. Awesome for doing that. It's really a treat to have all of these sponsors supporting the CSL. So when we come back, RPI is still down 1-2, but it's going to be up to the coordinator and our buddy, our co-caster, Matt Gensilator. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a really good Terran player, man. So I'm super excited. So yeah, we'll be right back with that game.